These lectures cover software project planning. In these lectures, we are going to answer some few questions. Our first question is, who needs software? First, software is used for two things. One is for entertainment, and second is to solve a problem. So most software is built in organizations for people with specific needs. A stakeholder is anyone who has an interest or a stake in the software being completed. Also, a user is someone who would need to use the software to perform a task, either for solving a problem or again for entertainment. Sometimes stakeholders will be users, but often stakeholder will not use the software. So for example, a senior manager like CEO or CTO in a company will usually have a stake in a software that is built, since it affects the bottom line, even if he or she won't ever use it. Next question is, who builds software? So software is typically built by a team of, again, software engineers, such as computer programmers, system analysis, or business analysis. Also, we have requirement analysis, who talk to users and stakeholders, plan the behavior of a software, and write a software requirement. Also, designers and architects, who plan the technical solution. Then the programmers who write the code. Then we may have the testers. Normally, software testers are one of the entry-level jobs in software engineering. So testers who will verify that the software meets its requirement and behave as expected. Their goal is to use different types of input to find out if we get a correct result or there's any bugs in the system. So what is a project management? So a project manager plans and also guides the software project. A project manager is responsible for identifying the users, also the stakeholders, and also determine their needs. A project manager also is a coordinator. It coordinates the team, ensure that each task has an appropriate software engineer assigned, and that each engineer has a sufficient knowledge to perform it. Also have sufficient resources to carry on its tasks. To do this well, a project manager must be familiar with every aspect of the software engineering. Identify needs. So a project manager also drives the scope of the project. The project manager should identify and also talk to the main stakeholders. The effective way to show stakeholders that their needs are understood and that those specific needs will be addressed is if with a vision and also a scope document. So next we go through the vision and scope document. This will be a typical document that follows the following outline. First, we have a problem statement. In the problem statement section, we are going to have the project background, possible name of the stakeholders, the users, risk that is involved in the project, and also any assumptions we have. Normally, we have three types of risk. It can be a technical risk. Also, feasibility risk is very important. And also we may have organizational, cultural risk, etc. So next will be the vision of the solution. We should have the vision statement. We should list of any features. Also possible the scope of phase release. And this is an optional. Also features that will not be developed. In this section also, we have to be careful with the scope creep concept. So that will take us to a project plan. The project plan, as we said earlier, defines the work that will be done on the project and also who will do it. It consists of a statement of work, which is the SOW. The SOW normally will describe all the work products that will be produced and also a list of people who will again perform that work. So we can see with the SOW, we can create our Gantt chart. or the work breakdown structure lists all the possible activities or tasks we have to perform in order to achieve our goal. Also, the duration of the task, very important, and also people or staffs that will be doing the tasks, we have to list all of them. Also, the resources, we have to list all the resources which contain a list of can be both the hardware and also can be software in a product that we need. Then also a work breakdown structure and a set of estimates. A project schedule is very important, and also the risk plan that identify any risks that might be encountered and also indicate how those risks will be handled should they occur. So we have to have all our risk mitigation factors, etc. So next is a statement of work. This will be a detailed description of all of the work products which will be created over the course of the project. Also, it includes a list of features that will be developed, a description of each intermediate deliverable or work breakdown that will be built, the estimated effort involved for each work product to be delivered. Also, we need to list all the resources. So the project plan should contain a list of all the resources that will be used on the project. A resource can be human resources or material resources, hardware, software, etc. So here we say a resource is a person, can be hardware, room, or anything else that is necessary for the project, but limited in its availability. So a resource list should give each resource a name, a brief one-line description, and list the availability and the cost, if applicable, of the resource. Also, we need estimate and also the project schedule. So the project plan should also include the estimate and also the project schedule. With the work breakdown structure, we can have the schedule, because normally a work breakdown structure will consist of, as we said earlier, all the activities that need to be performed, also the duration of each activity. We have to, again, identify the critical path, etc. Some tasks can be done in para at the same time. Two or more tasks can be done at the same time. But there can be some tasks that one task have to be performed in order to do the next task. For example, building a house, we cannot start to, again, store the window if we don't have, the house doesn't have no foundation. So again, and also an estimate of effort required for each task in the WBS is generated. A project schedule is created by assigning resources and determining the calendar time required for each task. Estimate and project schedule will be discussed in detail in our later lectures. Next is the risk plan. So the risk plan is a list of all risks that threaten the project, along with a plan to mitigate some or all of those risks. Most of the time, it's impossible to eliminate all risk. The goal, again, is to have some plan or mitigating factors to, again, combat it, reduce it to the minimal level as much as possible. So a project manager will select team members to participate in the risk planning section. Team members brainstorm the potential risk. Now the probability and impact of each risk is estimated. Then a risk plan is constructed. So here we can have our priority. We can have the risk, and maybe the most high priority risk will be those risks that if it occurs, it can have a strong negative impact on the project. Sometimes also we may have a positive risk, and these are the risks that we like. They may have a positive impact on the project. So these are an example of a risk plan. Here, for example, we have a risk senior manager will move call center offshore, which will require an internationalization feature to be built. Probability that it occur is 3, the impact, priority is 15, etc. So what actions we should take in case this risk happen? So here we say Mike will add a requirement task to the schedule for Quentin to begin investigating internationalization requirements. Now, if the call center is moved, then Mike will call a team meeting to review the schedule, and Barbara will inform the rest of the senior management of the potential delay. So this would be a good example of, again, risk plan. We have the action that we need to take, the impact, the probability that this risk may occur. And also we have so many risks, so we set the priority. The risk with the higher priority, as we said earlier, will be those that may have a serious impact on the project. So that will be the conclusion of these lectures. Again, we will see you in the next lecture. Thank you for your time.